Hello, and welcome to Prog Review, episode 290. Shame it wasn't 300 really, because today I'm talking about The Endless River by Pink Floyd, the 15th and final, we can say that, final studio album by the band. It was released on the 10th of November, though they say it was the 7th of November on Wikipedia, so shows you what they know. This is you've seen this. This is the CD Deluxe Blu-ray edition with gubbins. I've listened to it a good few times. I've listened to it on headphones. I've listened to it out loud in stereo. I've listened to it in surround sound, and it's time for me. Well, it's time for you to insult me in the comments section below. Please form an orderly queue. It is what it is. That's what I'm going to say. It is what it is. What it is an amazing piece of production. It's amazing how they've got all these fragments and these bits and bobs, and it's amazing how they've invisibly sewn them together to create this thing. What it isn't is it's not an album. It's not an album in the traditional sense of the word. I like ambient music as much as the next man. I like a good noodle, but I was going to be cruel and call this the endless drivel, but I knew the death threats would never stop. But again, what to say? What positive things to say? It really is an amazing piece of production work. They've made all these bits stick together and almost form a cohesive, flowing piece of work. It ends as it begins. Good old trick there from the Floyd. They like the cyclical nature of things. Heartbeats. Remember that they did that with the Dark Side of the Moon and the Wall. They've done it on the Wall and they've done it on here as well now. So it's a Pink Floyd album when everything is like an Ouroboros, cyclical and eating itself. So we all know these bits were taken from the 20 odd hours of sessions, jam sessions that they did for the Division Bell. These pieces are 20 years old. Again, the motivation behind it, it's a swan song for Richard Wright, but I think more it's more of a David Gilmour album than anything else. Richard Wright appears on it. There's these swirls and swashes of synth, and it's clever how they work pieces in, like Autumn '68, smack banging Alonzi 1 and 2. It's some organ stuff that Richard Wright had recorded in 1968, and they've brought it back to life again. It's the production, I think, is very, very clever, but for me, I found it very, 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 very laid back, incredibly laid back. It was just a bit boring, Not a lot happens, but then we were geared up to it for that. I'm loath to even call it a Pink Floyd album, Not because I'm one of those people that say, Roger Waters left, it weren't a Floyd. As I've said before, well, let's scale that back and say when Syd Barrett left, the Floyd ended there, shall we, if we want to be stupid. I just think because of the nature of the beast and because there are more producers, than players. I think again I don't know if it has the strength and the artistic merit to stand on its own 2 feet. I would have preferred it if this would have been packaged as The Endless River, as the companion album to The Division Bell when they did that box set, when they did the 20th anniversary box set. If they'd have said, and we've done this, released it standalone but also included it in the box set, I think I could have handled it a bit better. I think I would have appreciated it more. But to present this as an album, I think is very disingenuous. I think it's especially when we've had the box set out the same year as well. I just find that it's a money grab too far. There are some good bits on it, there are some nice bits, and again it's almost like hearing Pink Floyd's greatest hits. You go, oh, there's a little bit that sounds like Shine On You Crazy. Oh, there's a bit that sounds like Echoes. There's a bit that sounds like so and so, and you go on and you hear bits and bobs, all these little stylistic ticks. It reminded me of Rob Reed's album, when he did the Mike Oldfield thing. It was a bit like that. You spotted little bits of it. But again, these are fragments, and the songs are very, very short. And one comparison, it's like you're going for a meal, and they put the plate in front of you. You're just about to put the fork to your mouth, and they take your meal away. That's what this album felt like. Just as I was getting into, a mood, or it'd move on to the next piece. I like the bits with when they let Nick Mason out of his cage. Hearing him drum on the old Rototoms again was good fun. Like those bits, again, the bits when Gilmour plays. We all want to hear Gilmour play. But again, those are the bits that, the album perks up. Like I said, on the Alonzi 1 and 2, things really, you feel like you're about to take off, but of course you don't. You're never ready for launch on this record. Talking Hawking, which is, I think, almost one of the longest tracks on there. It's the third longest track on the record. Features Stephen Hawking from a BT advert. That's British Telecom, so those of you who don't know what I'm talking about. Those words, those recordings were used in the British Telecom advert 20 odd years ago. So it's good to be green and recycle for the environment, so we've got to commend them for that, for their recycling ability. But again, it's something that I could do without. But again, it ties it to the Division Bell. It makes it very much a companion piece. The last side, because it's divided into sides. Side 4, Calling Eyes to Pearl, Surfacing Louder Than Words, is probably for me the most satisfying part, because you feel like you're heading towards a resolution. A lot of these pieces, they don't really go anywhere. They noodle on Noodle Street. I love it. They noodle, but nothing really happens. Whereas there, it does resolve itself. Louder Than Words is the only song on the record, and again, it's a good David Gilmour song. It's because that's what it is. It is what it is. It's a nice sentiment to end on. It's growing on me. When I first heard it, I thought, it's functional, but hearing it in the context of the album, following Calling Eyes to Pearls and Surfacing, it sits there quite nicely. I quite like it. Is it classic Floyd? No, it's a Dave Gilmour song. That's what it is. That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds, more than that than anything else. And you could imagine that being on one of his solo records. But again, it's the sentiment. It's bringing. It's a very sentimental and nostalgic album, and it's not. There's nothing wrong with nostalgia and being sentimental, but when you're charging people £20 a pop for it, But of course, I've got to say, you'd be all excited to know that Roger Waters does appear on the album. He's one of the voices at the beginning. You hear Richard Wright and Dave Gilmour, and I'm sure some of the parts. I'm sure that is Roger Waters saying those words. I think it's taken from interviews done around the time of the making of Dark Side of the Moon and that. So historical parts of it. That'll keep you Roger Waters fans happy. Though you can all argue about it in the comment section below. I shall not be taking any notice of you. we got a few more extra tracks if you get the box set, and there's a deluxe version. TBS9, TBS14, and Nirvana, which are quite good. The surround sound very nice and floaty. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the surround sound. It was quite relaxing. It was quite relaxing, and it's not that it's a bad record. It's just it's such a slight thing. It's like a wafer thin mint. It really is. After a big meal, there's not a lot to it. Again, it is what it is. But what I find amusing is all the people out there who are throwing their hands to heaven and it's the best thing ever. And I say, yeah, come back to me on that in a couple of years' time, eh? Come back to me. You're just getting carried away with the moment. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. But get a bit of perspective. It's the best album since The Wall. Look, even the final cut's better than this, and I'm not a big fan of the final cut. Come on. I'll give them that. I'll give the final cut that. But yeah, I think people need to calm down a bit and get a little bit of perspective. We should appreciate for what it is. It's a swan song. It's a goodbye. Toodaloo. But again, releasing it the way they've released it, I would have appreciated a version of it in the box set, so I could have bought the whole thing and then I would have gone, wow, this box set's worth it. We got stuff in there, rather than going, it's just stuff I've already got, and then they make me buy this. It just makes me spend like that all the time. I mean, we didn't even get a Storm Thorgerson cover. This is a Mr. Nobody cover. Yeah, so there we go. Which is a shame. I think again with Storm, dear old Storm leaving, it would have been nice to have one of his works, on the final album. Because I mean he did the artwork for all but a handful. Was it one, Wall, and Final Cut? Three albums. Yeah. 4 albums now that Storm wasn't featured on. But again, it would have been nice as a tribute to dear old Stormy, who gave this band their visual impact. But hey, Stormy don't count. So that's a bit sad. And what really fucked me off was yesterday they released a promo video. Again, yesterday, the day of the release of this, those bastards released a promo video for Louder Than Words. It's very nicely shot, and I like it. It's very, and you get the man in the boat on the clouds doing his little pedalo thing, and I said the wrong word. Instead of pedal, I should use punting. He's a right punter. But anyway, they didn't include it on there. I can't find it on here. The promo is not on here at all, which I think is a bit short-sighted and a bit unfair, because this is supposed to be deluxe. What they're going to do, release a super deluxe edition with one extra video on it? Is that what they're going to do? Probably, and I'll probably buy it because I'm an idiot. But yeah, as a thing, it's boring. It's a boring thing, and there's only a few moments for me where my little ears prick up and I go, "Oh, that's interesting," because if you listen to demos, if you've listened to demos or you record yourself, you know when something's finished, and a lot of this feels like it's not finished to me. Again, with music, there's a sense of structure, tension release. There's not really that feeling. It is really bits very cleverly glued together, and I've got no problem with that. But is it a full price? Is it worth the entry for a full price album? I don't know. I mean, I've listened to this a lot, and like I said, it's only that last section that I start to get a little bit excited by, but the rest of it is just very, very slight musically, very, very slight, because again, it needs development, it needs work. This is why it wasn't included the first time round. There's a reason for this. I imagine that the die-hard, hardcore fans are absolutely whooping with delight, masturbating frantically over their copies of this. Remember, it does just wipe off. It's one of those covers, you just wipe it off, should be all right. But for me, I say please have some perspective. Come back to me in a couple of years' time and tell me that this is still a great piece of work. You'll say, no, Dan, you were right. You were right. Of course I'm bloody right. You listen to me. And if you're one of those people that bought the box set, the Division Bell box set, you'll be saying, yeah, this should have been included. We're being hard done by here. And again, I think more of it should have been. They should have, again, or maybe even reissued the Division Bell with this as a second disc. Made it more of a companion piece, because that's what it feels like. It feels like a companion piece to the Division Bell. It feels like it's that. Whether or not it can stand and exist on its own, I don't know. I don't think it does. I think it's a nice thing. It's a nice thing to have, and it's a thing that you might get out occasionally. Again, you might put it on if you're having a dinner party and you want some music that's not going to disturb the, it's the new Pink Floyd. Oh, very nice. You probably get away with that. But like I said, it's not going to scare the horses. It's not going to amaze anyone. You're not going to be saying, wow, that's the greatest guitar solo since Comfortably Numb. I mean, they even used the string on one of the tracks, from this kind of riffing off of. I thought it was clever. It's clever. It made me laugh. It made me smile. I thought that was good. And I'm sure I heard a Roger Waters scream buried in the mix, though I might have just been imagining that. Again, I thought the production was very clever, but it's not really an album. It's just It's just things that are. It's just a very clever piece of remixing and production. Yeah. If you want, I'm gonna do something, because I was thinking there's an album that's a remix album that I like, that none of you guys are gonna ever listen to, but I'm gonna suggest it. Bear with me a minute, because I just thought of this. Oink. Right, this is an album called Bell Curve by Michael Brook. It's a remix album, so it's not really an album. It's an album that's been made out of this album, Scissors Paper Rock. This is a proper album. This is a remix, but this is in some ways more superior than this, because the person that remixed it, James Hood, created something very unique and very, 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 very clever. And so yeah, if you think that's good, if you think The Endless River is good, track down this, because this is a very good piece of production work, and it's got soaring guitars, it's got things that sound a bit Floydish on here, and it's well worth checking out. Trust me, it's well worth checking out. So there you go. I managed to get Michael Brook into a Pink Floyd thing. There you go. I'm pretty pleased with myself now. So I've babbled on and on and on and on and on, and I shall. I mean, yeah, 20 quid. It's a good package. It's a nice little box set. You get you get postcards. You get the surround sound disc. It'd be nice if it had been 15, but it is what it is. That's my final word. It is what it is. And if you tell me it's the greatest thing ever, you're wrong, and you're deluded, and you're just being carried away by the fact that you've witnessed the release of a Pink Floyd. I'm going to use the bunny rabbits. I'm going to use that loosely. That's what you're being carried away by. You're being buoyed away by it. You're disappointed because you weren't there for the release of Dark Side of the Moon. You weren't there for, Wish You Were Here or The Wall, or even Momentary Lapse of Reason. But you got this tag on too, and so you hang on to it. You go on, you hang on to it. But it's just a load of offcuts, very skillfully cut together. And that's it. That's what we should appreciate it for. And Land of the Words is a nice song. I think it's a good way. That song is a good way to end. It's a good way to end. I think that's cool. In terms of a rating, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Would I want this album not to exist? No, I'm glad that they've done it. I'm glad that they've done this. I think it's worthwhile as a tribute to Richard Wright. I think that's cool. But it is such a slight piece of work. It really is. It's a shame. And it's the material they had to work with, you know. So, 4 sides. Nearly an hour. I'm going to give this 2 Alonzes out of 5. That's 2 Alonzes out of 5. They might have scored more if they'd included the promo for Louder Than Words on the Blu-ray. Maybe I can't find it. Maybe it's hidden. Maybe it's an Easter egg and I've completely missed it. Please point that out in the comment section below. Of course, don't forget to insult me because, you know, I've slighted the greatest band in the world and blah, 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 blue, 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 blee, blee, blee. Yeah, compare this to The Wall. Compare this to Animals. Compare this to Wish You Were Here. Dark Side of the Moon. Even Medal. It's just... I don't care what you say. I don't care. I've said my piece now. So that's it. Goodbye, Floyd. It was nice knowing you. I suppose we've got a new David Gilmour album next year. Oh well, but we'll have to live with that. I doubt it'll be exciting. Anyway, my name's been Darren Locke. I've been reviewing The Endless River. And you're going to insult me and give me a thumbs down. That's fine. Cool. I can deal with it. I really can. Everyone said I should be honest and be brave, and I'm going to be. I don't care what you say. My kids love me, my wife loves me, and the people who agree with me love me, and even the ones that disagree with me sometimes love me. It's just you horrible people. You try and insult me and hurt my feelings. Anyway... There's only one more thing to say apart from bye Pink Floyd. It was nice knowing you. Now they should give the name back to Roger Waters. Here, Rog, here's the name back. We've tarnished it. You can have it now. That's what they should do because I think Roger's got a few more years left in him, and that's it. Only one more thing to say after saying bye Floyd, and that is, are you ready? Prog on.